안녕하세요. 조소입니다. 감사합니다. Stray Kids, La 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 La. This already looks cool. This is, yeah. So, the latest to drop from Stray Kids. And, man, this is like already blowing my mind here. What in the world? It's a sort of a drum line down here. And there's an audience, but behind the audience, there are these giant, like, alien-looking figures. Okay, let's see where this goes.
움직여 해몸 기타 베이스 드럼 요새 까맣게 칠하지 밀고 We gon' rock rock 움직이면 don't stop stop Go for a ride 틱탁 멈춘 기타 여기 마이크에 쉬었다 즐겨라 경험하게 더 걸어라 그 심해 이 노래 사물에 표정 늪부터 즐거울라 Oh yeah 이것저것 빈무대 섞여 지금 빠른 여기 빠른 변신에서 너 펼친 never seen a stage like this 번쩍 버리지 눈이 남은 기대를 마주쳐 Just feel the rhythm of the world Cause we will make it rock 부림치며 보냈다 던져버려 맞다른 때려 세상에서
가리지 않는 soul sick 어디든 흘러나오는 대로 move and show it 낮이고 밤이고 낙으로 살아가지 oh shit
피해고 던지 부딪혀 쾅쾅 쳐대자고 정적과 부정적 에너지 타파
La 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 la
Just feel the rock We'll let it rock Just feel the rock We'll let it rock
우리가 라라라라 빛이 돌아가 라라라
Rock and roll We dance it till we fall No stopping here we go 24/7 keep it going on Rock and roll We dance it till we fall No stopping here we go No stopping here we go Here we go
So, so the drum line was little kids, right? And they're the Stray Kids are, almost have this like Lost Boys kind of theme going on, right? Sort of Peter Pan-ish, right? The piratey thing. So it seemed to me like the idea was that as a child, they've kind of discovered this like magical aspect of music that seemed to be otherworldly, and when it's time to sort of go out on stage and then perform, it's kind of like reaching into that that other world or trying to access it, and I definitely understand the concept. I understand what that feeling is for sure. But it's a nice take on it. It's really interesting. This sort of like epic scale, right? Like the the other world is these abstract concepts and these things that are larger than life, and you're trying to contend with that. You're trying to sort of operate on that level, right? The song itself is definitely like got that Stray Kids type of vibe to it. You know, it's kind of like a dance rhythm, but with the Stray Kids style, right? And it's a really nice use of triplet groupings, right? Your count is going to be in 4, but there's a lot of different examples of groups of 3 that are being used. For example, that main hook, right? La 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 la. 1 lolly, 2 and 3 lolly, 4, right? It's triplet groupings, and there are some alternate variations in rhythmic patterns that are going on in the percussion and the bass, and it's sort of like lines of 3, groups of 3 that are stacked and layered and kind of moving at the same time, and it's very cool. Felix has got the same blue hair as in the Heartress video, so these are done very proximal in terms of like the time frame of when the music videos were shot, because he looks, you know, very similar, right? And okay, so let's see. We have Bang Chan and Changbin had some really nice rap rhythms that were going on, and yeah, it's definitely got that Stray Kids energy, man. It's fun. It's relatively minimalist and pretty straightforward. Like for a Stray Kids song, it's very streamlined, right? Like from the beginning to the end of it. And it is very marchy. It's, you know, like you have this marching band imagery here, and the sort of rhythm, right? The cadence of this song, and especially because it kind of adheres to it pretty closely throughout. There's some little change-ups and variations that occur, but there's a main idea that's represented in the rhythm that's very much center stage, very up front through the majority of the song. So that hook is established immediately right away with that sort of synth keys sound that's going on. It's the same rhythm that's used in the vocal line of the hook. So it seems like the bass drum has its own triplet pattern that's going on, but I think it's more like 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 4, and, right? It's a sort of crazy syncopation, unless it's playing upbeats 1 and 2, la, li, 3, and 4. It might be something like that, but you see how there's like a layering to it, right? The bass and that kick drum sound, which it was cool to use the bass drum, you know, visual from the drum line to sort of initiate that, visually connecting the audible, right, to bridging the sort of concepts there, and it definitely gives it that marchy type of feel. But we have this layered rhythmic work that is very much centered around the idea of 3. So first sort of tonal shift here, right? We have sustained sort of synth notes in the the rhythm section rather. So like the whole 4 count, it's being held, and the percussion becomes super punchy here. It's that main snare drum type of hit, right? It's still very marchy, but it's staying on the lighter end of that, and it's playing every downbeat, and it's going to build up and go from playing the downbeats to 1 and 2 and then we'll get a 16-note rhythm, 1 and a 2 and a 3, and that's will sort of build us up to a peak, and then we'll transition back into the established rhythm from the intro. Nice. The melody line also walks up there, right? And it's cool that it stays. It's sort of da 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 da, but it doesn't necessarily come back down. He sort of plateaus it there.
Just feel the rock. Feel the rock. Just feel the rock. Feel the rock. What I got up, la la la, the key to la 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 la. Inhale, body's hand, so open.
Felix's baritone voice, it's interesting. The first time I ever saw a Stray Kids video and Felix sang, I was like, I was not expecting that range, right? You know what I mean? I was expecting to hear a higher sound, but it's a great contrasting element, right? When you have when it's more of a rap styling, right, and you sort of get like Changbin has another deep register, right, a deep voice, and then Pangchan can also get low, but he's, I think, more comfortable in that mid range, right? And then right now, Felix had the little hook line intro into this verse, and the voice that follows is much almost like an alto, right? Like it's so much higher, right? It's a completely different tone. It's definitely a narrower sound, and it's just a great contrast that the members have between the voices while being with such continuity. So there's the sort of pirate, I don't know if it Pirates of the Caribbean, or I was thinking more like Peter Panish, you know what I mean? Then there's also like a sort of Mad Max type of scene that's going on, and then there's like this Batman. This is basically the Joker from the Dark Knight, right? This is the sort of bus and the purple suits and the clown masks, and so there's some very archetypal imagery that's being invoked here. Let's see, and it's an interesting song, man, lyrically and visually too. It's a cool concept, man. Definitely the kind of thing that Stray Kids would want to take on in a song, Nice line.
가리지 않는 soul sick 어디든 흘러나오는 대로 move and show it 낮이고 밤이고 낙으로 살아가지 oh shit 피해고 던지 부딪
Did he sneak it in there? Cause like in the first, I was trying to, I thought, I was like, wait a minute, and in the down here in the subtitle it says shush, right? Shush, but it didn't sound like that. He snuck it in there, didn't he?
sick 어디든 흘러나오는 대로 move and show it 낮이고 밤이고 낙으로 살아가지 oh shit 피해고 던지 부딪혀 쾅쾅 쳐대자고
정적과 부정적 에너지 타파.
Really nice bridge though. And you notice the mix, narrows, right? It's certain sounds sort of disappear from the mix, and the vocal becomes very much the focus of it, the main part. And it was a very smooth transition back in this hook line right here, right? That begins with that intro sort of synth keys that's playing this, and it's layered here with the vocal over it. But this is the perfect duration, and also just the way it fills in the space, right? And this hook alone accomplishes the smooth transition from the bridge section back into the actual main chorus of the song.
La 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 la. Just feel the rock. We'll let it rock. Just feel the rock. We'll let it rock.
Lots of 808 bass.
Rock and roll. We dance it till we fall. No stopping, here we go. 24/7, keep it going on. Rock and roll. We dance it till we fall. No stopping, here we go.
There's these really tight little groups of three in there that you can hear in the 808, right? It's like boom, 1, 2, 3, and they sort of they come towards the end of a measure. They're kind of spaced out to accent the phrases more so, and it's this idea of three. Everything is revolving around this idea of three in composition.
No stopping, here we go, here we go.
1, 2, 3. I think even sort of vertically we have the idea of three. Like there's a lot in the mix that consists of like different synth sounds, but it's very deliberate build-ups, right? As the verses sort of go along, like you have different elements that build up either rhythmically or melodically, but there's some really nice lines in here. They have it tempered so by the time you get the sort of upper register, the really high melodic lines, right, everything is a build up. I'm noticing this in a lot of songs as the mix is sort of trend more minimalist. It stands out a lot more. This song structure that leads to a very definite sort of high point. Sometimes it's really done through a standalone sort of melody, right? It's a high vocal note, a line that sort of runs up and hits a peak, and then after that the mix will sort of come back in, and you'll get this big sort of wall of sound effect that's coming at you. But this really sort of stacks and layers, and when that high note comes vocally, the mix is full. Like there's all this body of sound that's underneath it. But the main idea in this is this driving, very march-like rhythm that centers around the idea of three. It's groupings of three. The hook it's very catchy. It almost it has the hookiness of like one of the Blackpink hits, you know what I mean? Like it's a very simple idea. It's even though the overall count of the song is going to be in 4, it's the use of a triplet pattern that goes over that has this inherent syncopated feel to it and makes it a little bit more dance like, a little bit more playful, right? But it also has this continuity in that straightforward, deliberate march type of rhythm that never lets up, right? So it continues to push forward, but the hooky sort of theme keeps it playful, right? And that is the sort of childlike nature of it. It's a very interesting approach to the concept. It's very Stray Kids as well. They always are like ninjas or vampires or pirates or something. I mean, you know, and it's fun. It's a fun thing. It's just one of the things I enjoy about it. But yeah, this is a straight up Stray Kids banger, you know, in the vein of like Thunderous, you know, Double Knot, these types of Stray Kids songs. The streamlined, you know, nature of the composition, though, right, is some of the songs really change up as you move from section to section, right? It's almost like a rondo or a theme and variations or something. There's a main concept that appears in the chorus of the song, but your verses will change it up, you know, even between the first and second verse. It won't be the same thing that you kind of get hit with. And then, of course, a bridge section. But sometimes the contrast is so much more dramatic, right? Like it's a really wide shift between the sections. But this is super smooth, right? It has a great continuity to it and a very, very streamlined feel. And keeps it pretty minimalist. I mean, it's you have most of your dynamic quality in the vocals, which makes sense. That's kind of the whole idea, what you want to accomplish, right, with the group. And it's a blast, though, a Stray Kids style blast, and it's a really fun idea too. I dig the lyric of the song the most. You know, it's something I can relate to, definitely. And there's this, you know, it's always been the same for me. Music was a very mystical type of experience early on as a child, you know, and then growing up and sort of developing a personal taste for certain sounds. And there's a sort of a point, and I think the reason for like the kid drum line here and a lot of the sort of fantastical elements that they present in the video, before you actually come to a technical understanding of music, it has this emotional, imaginative value, right? The character of a song is the understanding of it, and you're trying to access that to find some sort of freedom. Later on, if you pursue that technical understanding of it, if you want to know in terms of composition, in terms of, you know, when you start to figure out keys and chord progressions and rhythms and the time signatures and these different elements and aspects that explain in a technical way that you can recreate and write down what's going on in music, it becomes a different thing, and you are trying to return to that sort of magical space, right? And there's a point, because you don't necessarily lose it, but now you have a much more technical way of getting there. It isn't just you're more in control, basically, right? It isn't that a song comes on And I mean, it still does. A song comes on and it pulls you into its idea and its emotional quality, right? If it's an upbeat, bright, and happy song, you start to feel good, right? You start to feel that. If it's a sad song, you start to feel that emotional weight. If it's an energetic, perhaps dark and driving song, like, idea like this, right? It's almost one of these sort of defiant battle cries, right? Like it's taking your stance and your position, and you're very much making up your mind about something. And you can definitely fall into that feeling or that space, right? The abstract space of it. But you'll be working your way there with a much better understanding, and you can make that map of how you get to that space that is mystified, right? But there's a technical understanding of how to get there, and even how to start building it, how to start constructing it, right? Through ideas, and figuring out how you can sort of relate this. But in that technical sense, a very, very good use of triplet rhythms to construct a super catchy hook and a driving percussive rhythm, percussion and bass together, that create this march-like feel that continues to push forward, right? A little bit of resolution in the bridge section, much more bigger emphasis on melody there. Felix's register, that deep vocal register, it's actually really nice the way he can be melodic, a melody in the bass voice essentially, right? But he can provide that vocally, and it's one of the it's one of the things that makes a Stray Kids track actually really interesting, and it does, have a little bit to do with his own voice. Other members in the group can hit the pitch and sing it, but the resonance and sort of body in Felix's voice is unique, and it is a very distinct flavor in a Stray Kids song, And then you have like Changbin's rap styling, right? That's another example of a very unique type of flavor that you get in a Stray Kids song, and they're on display. Hyunjin and also Pang Chan, these are the same, right? Like they're working. All the members are putting in work just like they always do, but it's a very, very competent and use of rhythm, right? That gives it that value. It's a maximizing the value out of a very straightforward and fairly simple idea, but building off of that to create this story, this world, right? This other world that your sort of imagination kind of runs wild in. And so it's a fun concept. I enjoy the sounds and the actual structure of the song and everything. The lyric is also very fun, and I think Felix snuck that one in there. I'm pretty sure. But better watch out, man. Better watch out. JYP will get on you for that. But it was fun. It's fun. Stray Kids, yeah, they have their own voice as a group. The overall sound of a Stray Kids song. It's just very much its own voice, and they've managed to keep that going. If they've absolutely done it again here with La La La. It's very cool stuff, man. Another one to add to the playlist.